Welcome to the Digital Production Buzz at the 2015 NAB show. Hi, this is Larry Jordan, and this interview was recorded live on the trade show floor. For more information, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Axle Video is a 3-year-old Boston company that's dedicated to the proposition that managing media should not be difficult. And Sam Bogoch is the CEO of Axle Video. Sam, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here.
Why did you ever decide to start a company focusing on media management?
It's a very good question. I guess I'd probably approached it from a couple of different angles and felt like it was time to really tackle the elephant in the room, if you will.
Well, it sure is. And I know that your background includes Avid and long stretch at Avid.
Yep.
And then you left that and came over to start Axle. But what I'm discovering is we own Axle at our own company.
It's great.
And trying to figure out how to get media managed is not a trivial exercise.
Yep.
How did you approach it?
So our feeling was that, as you said, there are a bunch of open questions, things that people need to figure out. We try to make the process of actually deploying the software and using it as frictionless as possible. And then you can actually start thinking about, gee, what tags would I like to add to my media? Or, how much work do I want to put into, say, subclipping that media for later use? These kinds of things, which you can't even get to with larger systems without spending weeks of time and tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The opportunity is pretty clear. We feel that there's on the order of 100,000 small work groups out there doing video today. And of those, approximately 5,000 have media asset management or MAM software. So the challenge is, what do the other 95,000 do? And we felt like we had a really good answer if we could develop this software.
So how would you describe your answer? I mean, you're using the phrase radically simple, but a little bit more detail.
Sure. So essentially, this is software. It looks through your web browser like a very simple web application. And it lets you catalog what's on your storage, present that out as proxies, so H.264 streaming proxies. And then you're able to scrub through those, tag them, do subclipping, share those with other people, and do review and approvals. So by making it very clean in a browser interface and giving it kind of that iPad or iPhone feel, we've been able to at least get away a lot of the noise, whereas traditionally media asset management applications have had lots of cascading multiple choice menus and scary stuff so that a beginner might not feel comfortable.
Are you able to allow us to add our own metadata, our own information about those files, say when it was recorded or what job it was for? Or are you just taking the information that's on the media file itself?
A little of both. Most of our customers start with what's in the media file, which we automatically capture. And it's quite a bit of information, like you said, date, file size, codec, aspect ratio, things like that. Then we allow you to create custom fields. But we actually discourage people from using too many of those, because the more custom fields you have, the less likely it is that anyone will fill them in.
That's a very, very good point.
Right, so let's say, for instance, AS11, which is the new British standard for broadcast, they have 72 fields which must be filled out before something can go to air. And in reality, that's important if something's going to air. You really need to know that you have the rights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for in-house production work, that would gum things up something fierce. Even 6 or 7 fields is probably a lot if you're under deadline, right? It's like, and the problem is if you overdo it, no one uses it, and if nobody uses it, then it's kind of just sitting there. The system does give you some benefits without using these fields in the first place, but the last thing we want to do is scare people off.
Well, which gets me to another point. One of the challenges that we've had in our own shop is trying to get our own media asset collection collected.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about Axle is that it'll read any information that's on the server that it has access to.
That's right.
But I'm discovering that my editors don't really want to spend time doing media asset management.
No, sir.
And that's not a fault of your software. It's the fact that they want to do editing and they don't want to do... Who do I get to do library management? What job description is this?
I think in most parts of the world it's called intern, basically. Basically it's like, go look at this footage, tell me what's good, carve out the color bars, because we sure don't want to... common sense stuff. There are, of course, media librarians, people that have studied library science. You can go as big or as small as you want. But for instance, I'm struck. Years back, I was at a major North American broadcaster who had a phenomenal system in place, one of our interplay systems at Avid. And we were very proud of the technology, of course, and we were touring their facilities. And I said, this is great. And they were loving it, we were loving it. And I said, you know, so you must have great metadata information about all these ingests, because tens of thousands of hours of satellite feeds and so forth. And he says, between you and me, we're lucky to have the file name and the date. You know, and I was with a state-of-the-art system. That's when I realized that nobody has time for this stuff, right? It's just, it's a commonplace. So it's not like the big guys have it covered. They really don't either.
Interesting. So I don't need to feel as guilty as I thought I did.
Don't feel bad about it at all, no.
You got anything cool new stuff to announce?
Oh, we sure do. Yeah, three major new announcements here at the show. The first is Axle 2015, which is our new modular and highly scalable version of our application. Double the asset count and a much faster user interface, as well as a programmable REST API for customization.
And it can still run on a Mac Mini?
Still runs on a Mac Mini, yep. Okay. Although more and more people are actually running it on, actually recycled Mac Pros are one of the favorite new systems.
Oh, there we go.
Because a lot of people are buying the new cylinder ones, and then they've got a big honkin' last-gen Mac Pro. This is a perfect thing to run on that.
Okay, so we've got a bigger version. What else is new?
Axle Edit, which is our new iPad application. It's for iPad and iPhone, and it basically...
Axle Edit.
Yes, so it basically connects to Axle on the server. Hold it here. It connects to Axle on the server and allows you to scrub through media, you know, drag things into the timeline. So basically you can drag clips into your timeline, you can trim, you can do audio controls, everything you would expect in a full-fledged editor, but it's on your iPhone 6 or iPad. Wow. And what's cool is it's using low-resolution previews from Axle, and then it renders, when it renders, on the server in high-res. So it's a true client-server editing system, and it costs under $2,000 for 5 seats.
And the third thing?
And the third thing is that we just announced that we've acquired from Boris FX a set of libraries for transforming edit formats. So you can go to and from AAF for Avid, you know, After Effects sequences, Premiere Pro, and Final Cut. So it's a really cool tool set, and we're going to be very excited to see how we can integrate that into our products.
And what website can people go to learn more?
AxleVideo.com. That's AXLEVIDEO.com.
Axle Video, all one word, AxleVideo.com. And Sam Bogoch is the CEO and co-founder of Axle Video. Sam, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.